All right, ready. Can you guys hear me? I think you can. Let me share my screen and then we can kick it off ASAP. All right, so let's hope for this to hold. I've had some Discord issues last couple weeks actually. The input keeps it doesn't change. It just stays, but I have to confirm. I have to select it again, although it is already selected. So it's a bit annoying. Sometimes I don't notice that you guys can't hear me, so I keep talking and only when somebody's like, "Hey, are you talking?" do I notice. So if that happens, please have some patience with me. I'm doing my best. All right, guys. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Good morning, JM. I think I can hear you.
Yes, sir. I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. All right. So how about you kick it off, and we'll get into some individual names. Mate will join us in a bit.
Yeah, let's get started. We do have a few things to talk about. We do have a fairly large gap up from the Sunday night futures open. Whatever. Um, Return to peace negotiations in the Middle East for the 30th time. But the point is, the market has responded to it. We gapped up.
He's
Uh,
keeping count.
I'm keeping count. As a futures trader, I'm keeping count. Trust me.
Mhm,
Uh,
mhm.
Not my favorite, but nonetheless, we did gap up and traded as high as 75.40 on SPX. It's about 60 plus points from the Friday close. The main thing today is that we're holding the gap up very well. It's last week started with a gap up and we gave the entire move back early on Monday, but today the gamma positioning is completely different. I think it's much more supportive and much more likely to hold and try for continuation, which is important. So, that's a large gap up. It's not easy to trade RTH after that. We have consolidated a lot in the overnight below 75.40, and that's going to be the main pivot for upside. There's gamma positioning there. If you can clear 75.40, then I think you can try to grind higher into 75.75, which would be the first kind of gamma magnet. But the positioning today is a positive gamma supportive charm environment, which is totally different than last week. It tends to pull price higher into those gamma magnets, and it tends to be very hard to see follow through to the downside, which is very important. I would be much less likely to try to fade this gap up than last week. The environment is totally different and much more likely to kind of see continuation higher above 75.40. As far as areas to try to buy the dip, 75.15,
Mhm.
75.15 to 25, that area is support. 75.15 is also the overnight low. That would be my first choice, a sweep of the overnight low that lines up with some support gamma positioning at 75.15. And I think 7,500 honestly is probably the floor today at the moment. So 7,500 or 7,515 would be great to try to get in on a dip. Honestly, we may not see that, but we'll see what we're able to get in the RTH. And again, this positioning can change, but that's my lean would be that we see continuation higher above 75.40. And I think probably trying to find a way to get in long is the best play for today, at least above 7,500.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Yeah, Friday highs around the 75.12, so just below overnight highs. I do like that test that recovers 75.15 overnight lows for potential failed breakdown. I'm also looking for look above and fail 74, sorry, 40. Um, we'll see. But yeah, I'm kind of neutral here. It's a nice gap up. Let's see if we can hold it. Over the last few guess sessions has been tricky for us to hold, but we've had pretty wide ranges, so we've been able to kind of come back nicely. But we've been presented with a couple nice trading opportunities, and I think today will be the same. Um, Let me look at the watch list. I'll leave the focus, which is Microsoft, until the end. If Mate gets back here before then I'll let him talk about it. Otherwise, I'll give you my take on it, and then he can always chime in later. Starting with Amazon. So daily looks like this. We're gapping up nicely here above that earnings report, earnings day high. So we're seeing that continuation in overnight session, unfortunately. So I mean, the way I don't like to chase these, I like to see some sort of validation of a pullback. The most obvious would be a back test of Friday high and hold. That is sitting around that 273 and then 275. There's nice support here as well. So a little bit of a dip into that could be something to watch. Otherwise, in terms of the structure, not a whole lot of PM structure. It's been a steady kind of grind to the upside. But I like that 275 check back, maybe a little bit of a dip and rip the upside. I would want to call everybody's attention to the all-time highs on Amazon. They're right here. So, that is sitting about a point or so above. So, knowing how these things go, I'm sure we're going to get new all-time highs before they open, just because that's sitting around that 278 and 50 or so. So, Amazon, I'll be looking at the dip and rip potential kind of setup intraday. D-Dog will be next. D-Dog, very defined chart here, just below these all-time highs. Been in a very kind of relatively strong mode for quite a while and nice cup and handle. We attempted to break out on Friday and we failed, but software is seeing a nice little relative strength here in the morning. So we do have earnings coming up in a couple of days. So, will they break this into the earnings report or will they just wait for that? We'll see. But D-Dog, very nice, clean kind of setup. I also like the relative strength in this basket. IBM not my favorite, but worth watching here. They gapped it down on earnings, they pushed it lower, and then they pushed it back towards that gap here. So we're back to this 231. That's the gap down day high after earnings. And a break above that 230, 231, I think we could maybe see 10 points, maybe 12 points or so. So, not bad for a day trade. One to watch. Must see some scrambling by shorts there. So IBM on the radar here today. Apple, a little far off, I think. This one is attempting to break into the gap above. I do like the kick save on Friday off that 300, but I remain kind of vigilant on this one. Just kind of want to watch the downside on this one. I do have a few alerts at 300. I think 300 could be one to watch. Um, Google, really nice kind of higher time frame trade here, and this is a good example of them pushing it lower on earnings, but then buyers just stepping in, filling the gap. And Friday was a very decisive kind of shut off by the shorts. They kind of gave up there, and bulls just took charge. The shorts probably just covered a bit here. Looking at the daily, it looks like this, and then the weekly looks like this. They're really clear, kind of really clear trend line that goes across here, worth a watch. For today, that trend line would converge around this 365 area. So keep an eye on that 368, 60, 376 above that higher time frame resistance levels above. So let's see, if it could hold the gap and if it could continue this move and break the trend line. So Google, one to watch, and then SNDK front side below 1200. Not much to add to that. So 1200 would be around that low from Friday. A nice little even number there too. Um, I do like this because the move to the upside got sold into. The one heads up I would say is that this week SNDK earnings and WDC earnings. So it's going to give us a lot of insight into these member names and potentially, uh, you know, future kind of guidance and stuff like that. And so fundamentally, I think this one could get a little tricky, but they might also just kind of sell it into it. So if that happens, it's kind of interesting to see how this one plays out intraday. Mateus is not with us, so I'm just going to cover Microsoft, which is a name that I like as well. He has a slightly different take on things, but we often kind of align on the bigger picture. Big picture here is that Microsoft's seen some two really nice days after earnings, and I would continue watching this one to the upside. There is a gap here to get filled, which we potentially could do very quickly. But once again, I really like and I would prefer this one back testing not only Friday highs, but the high of which we reversed off in June, which gave us a new low here. So for me, that is extremely, extremely important. So looking at the intraday here, the PM structure looks, uh, really strong, right? Really strong trend to the upside. I prefer a little bit of a dip, a little bit of a turn on this one. Um, Looking at the daily, that turn I'd prefer to come around that 471, 472 zone. Alternatively, obviously, Friday high and this June of 2026 high around that 466. Um, if it breaks below Friday highs, we could get a little bit of an inside day candle there, but not without the fight by bulls. I think bulls want to keep seeing this momentum to the upside, and considering this one has been sold into for quite a while, this might still have a little gas in it. So one to watch. I do think that 480, 483 could be a little bit of resistance above. Um, that's all we got. Okay. Um, Sarang, you're around. Yes, you are. All right, go ahead, sir.
Hey, good morning, everybody. So I'm watching, I think, Amazon as the main watch for me today. So if you look at the daily structure on Amazon, 278 is the all-time high break. But only caveat here is we are just directly making the move, in this 278 area. So what I will be watching is pre-market structure is looks good, trendy, and all the variables are checked in. So only thing is 278 is very big level. So what I'm watching the two things here. So let's say how we react on the dip at the open first. So if you see let's say first time rejection around 278 and maybe dip like 276 and then reclaim the high of the day, I will take an entry. Otherwise, at the open, let's say if we break 278 to 79 area and then back test and hold, then we'll be looking to join the trend on the back test. So watching two trades on Amazon, but if we fade below, let's say 273, then not interested for long on it. Second stock, I think Microsoft you covered very well, so I won't repeat. So I have the similar plan on the Microsoft. Second stock I like is Crowd. Crowd actually, if you look at on the daily, this 195 area is the previous all-time high, and we are trying to reclaim in the pre-market area. So what I'm watching is maybe break below this 195, 193 area and reclaim this 195 is the entry for the long. So so let's see how the volume picks up at the open. So Crowd, Panda Blue both are showing the strength in the pre-market. But I like the Crowd because of the level is very nice around 195 area. That's the one. And apart from that, let me check quickly. D-Dog, I think you covered very well. So yeah. ARM also looks nice actually. ARM, yeah, semiconductors seeing weakness. So I think we literally trapped above the 238 area. So what I'm watching is maybe the earning day one low is around, I don't know, think 222. I don't know. So I don't know. To be honest, I will watch the intraday pattern on this ARM. So if we
Hmm.
break below 232, I'll be looking to take a short on it because each bounce are getting sold off on ARM.
Hmm.
The range is also expanded on this one. So
Hmm.
below 222 is a nice trade targeting 200. But here, I think, let's see how we goes around 232. Uh, yeah, that's all I'm watching.
Cool. I just want to take a look at IGV here. Software up almost 3%, showing relative strength. Top of the list. So yeah, the software names are catching a bit of a bid here. So SMH is red 1.5%. So seeing some I guess rotation or some sort of clear relative strength versus relative weakness. Cyber is up as well as just saying some cybersecurity. Okay, let's take a look at some names here. We have Button 9 minutes to go. Baba, very strong stock lately, last couple of months, really nice off the lows. This one has earnings coming up, so end of the month. Um, impressed by how it's holding gains really nicely. Um, Very gappy, right? So it's often harder to trade, but definitely looking very, very strong. Uh, I do like what it's doing here, PM. It's cooling off just a bit. And I think if 125 can hold early in the session, this one could push higher. Uh, yeah, I think BA, so Boeing could have a little bit of a move in it soon. I do like how condensed this price action is. Um, Getting very, very tight here. And uh, I think this could have a day. It's just I'm not the one to guess the day in BA unless there's a catalyst. I don't see a BA catalyst for now, but really nice, earnings behind us, and we're kind of where we are. So this might have a 5 to 10 point move in there soon. Yeah, FSLR, nice little kind of move after earnings, and it's trying to carve out. It's trying to carve out a bottom. I do like that 221 that you called out, Drew. 221 recovery could push towards that 240 or so. 234 is 200-day moving average. That would be my first target. FSLR. Um, yeah, more of a kind of a momentum play, I guess, if it sees it. Nice relative strength. NOW. Yeah, I mean, this one has been a harder trade, but big picture, it's just accumulating, and at some point, this could burst out. So it's harder trade, but a better maybe stock play, longer term, maybe. But if you want to trade this, I would say 113.5 needs to hold. Break above 116, 118, could see 125. Our continuation move to the downside below Friday lows, not more. Visa, yeah, all-time high. So keep an eye on all-time high break. That's a clean all-time high kind of call out, Badavi. A little liquid. I think you had a good day in this one a few days ago after earnings. So I would watch for a clear break of 375.50, maybe even back test before kind of going for this one. Liquid, a little harder. Yeah, and Okta looks good. It's attempting to break out of this kind of you know downside move, downside channel. 145 hold could be something to watch. Previous high from earlier this year was around that 142.50, so that'd be secondary level. Friday high and the secondary level 142. ES is pulling back here just a bit. Schwab earnings behind us near all-time highs. Yeah, it looks strong. One of the stronger big banks in terms of charts. BAC looks good too. Bank of America. XLF looking pretty strong here actually. Oh shit, I didn't even know XLF was at all-time highs. So in terms of focus, I'll be keeping an eye on Microsoft, Amazon. Amazon. Amazon, Microsoft actually pulling back here. So hold on one second, guys. All right, guys, let's see. Yes, pretty big pullback here. Tesla pulling back as well. Microsoft, nice little turn. That's the turn we were talking about. Bigger pullback here. White House Trump to travel to Nevada on Wednesday. Okay, Iran rejects U.S. Hormuz proposal. So that's injecting some volatility here. Right before they open, those fuckers. Give us that sweep. Amazon, nice turn. Meta pulling back. It's a new month, so keep that in mind. Okay, Amazon, yeah, basically tagged all-time high. All right, see what happens here. Amazon's too fast. Amazon, Microsoft too fast.